My girlfriend said, "We're pregnant. Isn't this exciting?" I responded, "Who exactly is we?" Then I showed her my medical records from 2 years ago, proving I was sterile she didn't know about. When her face went white and she stammered, "Wait, what?" in front of her family, who she'd just told the news to. My name's Ethan, 32, and this is the moment everything I thought I knew about my life cracked open. I never imagined a single sentence could rearrange my world. Yet here I was, standing in a living room full of people who thought they were celebrating good news, while I was silently preparing for a war I never asked for. I'm the kind of guy who tries to avoid drama, to keep the peace. But that day I felt a storm building behind my ribs, and I knew I wasn't walking out of that house the same man who walked in. I'd been with my girlfriend Ava for almost 4 years. We'd had our ups and downs, mostly little things, but nothing that screamed, "Get out now before your life explodes." If anything, I thought we were stable, predictable, comfortable, the kind of slow-burning relationship that didn't need fireworks to feel real. But looking back, maybe that was the perfect environment for a lie to grow unnoticed. It started weeks before that fateful announcement. Tiny shifts that scratched at my instincts. Ava had been distant. Not in the cold shoulder way, but in the "something is living inside her mind that she won't let me see" way. She was distracted, always on her phone, flinching whenever a text buzzed as if the screen might explode. When I asked if everything was okay, she dismissed me with a kiss on the cheek and a quick, "Just work stuff, babe." Work stuff. Right. Ava worked at a marketing firm, busy, chaotic, but never secretive, and yet suddenly she guarded her phone like it contained nuclear codes. I tried to ignore it. I told myself relationships had waves. People drift. People come back. I wasn't going to be the paranoid boyfriend who combed through every sign like a detective with conspiracy boards taped across the bedroom walls. Then she began planning dinners with her family. Big dinners. The kind where she insisted I come early, help set up, dress nice. Ava's family liked me, which was a miracle considering they were the type who judge a man's worth based on how many forks he knew how to use at a formal table. But Ava had never been this insistent about visiting them. "We should start spending more time with them," she said one evening, smoothing her hair in the mirror. "It matters." "Why now?" I'd asked. She froze for half a second, so small you'd miss it if you weren't looking closely, then forced a smile. "You'll see." Those words stuck to me. You'll see. Like there was some timeline I wasn't aware of, a clock ticking down behind her eyes. That's when I started watching more closely. Not snooping, just paying attention. The first real red flag came the night I found her pacing in the kitchen at 2 a.m., whispering into her phone. I didn't hear the words, but I heard the tone, sharp, urgent, panicked. When she noticed me, she hung up so fast her fingers fumbled. "Who was that?" I asked. "My sister," she answered immediately. Too immediately, too confidently. The kind of confidence someone uses when they've rehearsed the lie ahead of time. But the next day, her sister texted me asking if I'd help plan her kid's birthday party. Casual conversation, normal. And then, "I haven't talked to Ava in a few days. She doing okay?" That's when my stomach sank. I didn't confront Ava, not yet. If she was lying, confronting her without proof would just push her deeper into the shadows. And if she wasn't, well, I needed to be sure before I blew up our life. But life had a way of speeding the timeline. One Saturday afternoon, Ava came home glowing, literally glowing, cheeks flushed, eyes bright, like someone who had just been given a secret worth millions. She kissed me, hugged me, spun around the kitchen laughing. "I have something to tell you," she said. "Something amazing." Something in me froze. My chest tightened. I couldn't explain why, just instinct. "What is it?" But she only smiled, shaking her head. "Not yet. You'll see tonight." There it was again. You'll see. Like a countdown. That night we drove to her parents' house. Her mother had decorated the entire dining room with gold ribbons and white candles. Her father was wearing a suit inside his own home. Her brother and sister-in-law were already filming with their phones as if waiting for a show. I walked in confused, but Ava squeezed my hand and whispered, "Just trust me." That was the last moment I trusted her. Dinner felt off, everyone exchanging glances, whispering, giving Ava these overly sweet smiles. At one point, her mother placed her hand on top of Ava's and whispered something that made Ava's eyes well up. Then dessert came out, and her father cleared his throat with theatrical importance. "Ava," he said, smiling proudly, "do you want to tell everyone your news?" And that's when she stood up, beaming with the certainty of someone whose story was about to land exactly how she pictured it. "We're pregnant," she announced. "Isn't this exciting?" Phones came up, people gasped. Her mother cried. Her sister ran around the table to hug her. Her father gave me a nod that said, "Well done, son." And me? I sat there staring at her, the room fading into a distant hum. I didn't feel joy. I didn't feel surprise. I didn't even feel anger yet. I felt confirmation. Everything that had been scratching at my instincts, everything that didn't make sense, everything she'd been hiding suddenly folded together like a puzzle. But the thing about me is, I don't react immediately. I don't explode. I don't accuse. I wait. I observe. I verify. And I had verified the truth long before Ava stood in that living room and announced we were pregnant. 2 years ago, after a medical complication, I'd been diagnosed as sterile. It had hit me hard, but eventually I'd made peace with it. I never told Ava, not because I didn't trust her, but because we weren't at the stage where family planning mattered, and I didn't want to scare her off with long-term discussions we weren't ready for. I told myself I'd bring it up when the time was right. Turns out she made the decision for me. As her family celebrated, I slowly reached into my jacket pocket. I kept my face calm, too calm. Ava noticed. Her smile faltered just slightly. "Ethan," she whispered, "are you okay?" I stood up. Everyone fell silent. Now all eyes were on me. "Ava," I said softly, "who exactly is we?" Her face drained instantly, like I'd pulled a plug. The entire room went still enough to hear dust settling. She tried to laugh it off. "What do you mean? We're pregnant. You and me." I took out the envelope. The medical records, sterility confirmation, frozen in time with two doctors' signatures. I placed it gently on the dining table. "Ava," I continued, my voice steady but razor sharp, "I think you should open that. Right now." Her mother frowned. "Ethan, what is this?" Ava's fingers shook as she opened the envelope. The papers slipped out. She scanned the first line, and I watched her pupils tremble. Then her face turned white. Shock first, then panic, then pure, uncontrolled fear. She looked up at me like a child caught stealing, voice barely a breath. "Wait, what?" Her family stared at her, confused, horrified, demanding answers without speaking a word. Her mother's hand flew to her mouth. Her father stood halfway, as if frozen mid-rise, trying to understand. Ava shook her head frantically. "No, no, this can't. Ethan, we." I stepped back. She tried to reach for me. I pulled away. And that's when the lie collapsed. The room erupted, her mother screaming her name, her brother cursing under his breath, her father demanding, "Ava, what is the meaning of this?" She backed away like a cornered animal, tears spilling, hands trembling, voice cracking. I, I can explain." But she couldn't, because there was nothing left to explain. Everyone in that room had already reached the only conclusion possible, and I just stood there feeling the weight of silent judgment shift from me to her. The storm I'd felt brewing finally broke, but not over me, over her. Ava kept stammering, the word "explain" spilling from her mouth like it could magically erase the reality printed on the papers in front of her. Her family wasn't looking at her with confusion anymore. They were looking at her the way a crowd looks at a burning house, while wondering who lit the match. Her father stepped toward her. "Ava, whose child is it?" The question cracked the air. She shook her head wildly, choking on her breath. "Dad, please, just let me talk to Ethan." But I didn't want to hear her alone, not this time. For once, the truth needed witnesses. I said nothing. I didn't have to. Her mother snapped, "Answer your father." Ava folded to her knees, sobbing into her palms, shoulders trembling. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so, so sorry." That was the moment her father turned to look at me. Not with anger, not even pity, but with a kind of defeated sadness, like he was mourning something he didn't know had died. I kept my voice calm. "How long, Ava?" She didn't answer. I repeated it, quieter, sharper. How long? She finally looked up at me, makeup streaking down her face. It was, it was a mistake. A mistake? I repeated. Which part? The cheating or the pregnancy announcement party? Her mother gasped. Her brother muttered, Jesus Christ. Ava sobbed harder. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. I thought maybe, I finished her sentence in my mind. I thought maybe the baby could pass as yours. I thought maybe you'd never know. I thought maybe I could bury the truth forever. Then she whispered the final blow. I thought maybe we could make it work. My jaw flexed. With a child that isn't mine? She closed her eyes, trembling. I didn't want to lose you. Her father slammed his hand on the table. Well, you've lost him now. The entire room echoed with the finality of it. Ava cried into her hands, but my heart didn't soften. Not even slightly. Something inside me had snapped clean. A wire that, once broken, never reconnects. She crawled toward me, gripping my pant leg. Ethan, please don't leave. I'll fix this. I stepped back, her fingers slipping off. No, I said. You already made your choice. Her whole body crumpled. But the night wasn't over. Not even close. Because the truth always comes in layers. And we were only on the first. Ava's phone rang. Everyone looked at it. The screen lit up with a name she didn't expect to expose. A name she never thought her family or I would ever see. Liam. Her father snatched the phone before she could. Who is Liam? Her face went blank with terror. Dad, don't... But he'd already answered, before Ava could stop him. A man's voice came through the speaker, casual, warm, too familiar. Hey, baby, did you tell him yet? I've been waiting for your update. Ava screamed, Hang up! Hang up! But the damage was already done. Her father stared at her like he'd been slapped. Ava, what have you done? She tried to grab the phone, but her brother stepped between them. No, you're not hiding anymore. Ava was shaking so violently, she looked like she might faint. Please stop, please. But her father wasn't done. He brought the phone back to his ear. Listen here, you... Liam cut him off. I told Ava to break up with Ethan weeks ago. He deserves to know the truth. I don't want to hide anymore. A sickening silence spread across the room. Even I felt my stomach twist. Ava collapsed again, sobbing so hard her breaths sounded like they were tearing her throat. Her father muttered, God help us. I walked toward the door. I needed air. I needed distance before my anger turned into something uglier. But Ava scrambled after me, grabbing my shirt from behind. Ethan, please don't go. Please, I love you. I swear I never meant to hurt you. I turned. Ava, you didn't just hurt me. You humiliated me. You lied to me. You tried to trap me into raising someone else's child, and you did it in front of the people who trusted you the most. She shook her head desperately. I didn't know how to tell you. Everything got out of control. You made it out of control. She collapsed against the wall, sobbing. I don't want him. I want you. Her brother scoffed loudly. Yeah, right. After you got pregnant by someone else? Her father was now gripping the back of a chair so tightly his knuckles had turned white. Ava, you will apologize to this man. You will accept the consequences. You will grow up. But Ava only looked at me, terrified and pleading. Ethan, please talk to me. I looked her dead in the eyes. Then answer me honestly. Was Liam the only one? Her breath caught. Her silence was the answer. The room broke into chaos. Her mother wailed. Her brother cursed. Her father said a prayer under his breath. Ava reached toward me, covering her mouth with both hands, shaking her head like a malfunctioning machine. I'm sorry. I didn't mean... Ethan, please. But I'd heard enough. I walked out the front door. Ava's screams followed me onto the porch. Ethan, come back! Come back! Her father had to physically hold her so she wouldn't chase me outside barefoot. I got into my car. My hands trembled against the steering wheel. My throat felt raw. My eyes burned with a type of pain I didn't know existed. But beneath all that, there was a cold, anchored clarity. I drove away. I didn't look back. But the story didn't end there, because Ava didn't stop. The next 48 hours were a storm of missed calls, pages of texts, voice messages blurring into one endless apology. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I made a mistake. I love you. I need you. Please talk to me. I'm scared. I'll do anything. I'm losing my mind. I can't do this without you. And then the worst one. Please don't make me go through this pregnancy alone. I didn't respond. Her silence had spoken for her. The truth had spoken for her. Liam had spoken for her. But it didn't take long before someone else reached out. Liam. He messaged me directly. Hey man, I'm sorry for what happened. I didn't know she hadn't told you yet. Yet. Meaning he knew she was pregnant. Meaning he'd expected her to confess. Meaning he believed the baby was his. He sent another. I don't want drama, but I'm willing to step up if the kid is mine. Ava's just scared. Just scared. I didn't reply to him either. Then Ava's father texted me. Son, whatever happens, know that we are ashamed of her actions and grateful you handled this with dignity. Dignity. I didn't feel dignified. I felt gutted. But then came another message from her mother. Ethan, she needs help, real help. She is breaking down. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't, but I wasn't responsible for fixing the consequences of her choices. Still, I wasn't cruel. I sent one final message to her father. Make sure she gets counseling and a paternity test. Liam needs to step up if it's his. He replied with 2 words. We will. I didn't talk to Ava again, but the story twisted one more time. 2 weeks later, a detective called me. Ava had tried to file a claim at her workplace, accusing a coworker of harassment to cover up the affair. But HR interviewed Liam, and the timeline didn't add up. She was caught lying, not just in her relationship, but in her job. She was suspended. Her entire life fell apart. Not because of me, because lies always collapse eventually. A month later, I got a letter from her father, handwritten, heavy. He wrote that Ava was in therapy, that Liam had requested a paternity test, that Ava wasn't handling the truth well, but she was no longer hiding. Reality had forced her out of every corner she tried to crawl into. He thanked me for giving their family clarity, even if it broke them. I stared at that letter for a long time, not because I felt victorious, but because I finally understood something. Sometimes the truth isn't a weapon. Sometimes it's the only way to stop the bleeding. Ava never reached out again after that. Not directly. Not through friends. Not through her family. The silence was the real ending. And in that silence, I found something I hadn't felt since the night it all exploded. Peace. I didn't get revenge. I didn't fight. I didn't scream. I didn't destroy her. I simply showed the truth, and the truth destroyed itself.